damn thing, right? And exerting and amplifying and walking in their power. So keep doing what y'all doing. Later today in California, 9 a.m., we do have the California Reparations Task Force because we working, right? And something else we learned is that law, right? Man, shout out to Yashika, right? To that law, right? Because those things were extremely valuable, and they were definitely helpful, right? All needed to see it, right? But I had to see it. I had to hear it out their mouths. I was on Clubhouse and like blown away. It kind of radicalized me. I had to take some time away, but I never knew how deep it was, right? But it was also, you always was looking for something. Like it was just something, right? And that's something that we as myself, I'll speak for myself and majority of us that come from our black culture, right? We were fitting a black American culture, right? We all black, right? And so we kind of was having fun and mixing and everything like that. And we kind of let diluted our own self a little bit, some, but you know what I'm saying? We lost some of the things. We lost some of our, like that big mama shit. You know what I'm saying? Bring back the big mamas, baby? We need y'all. Okay, big mamas, for real. Can we get back? We used to cook food and have rent parties to make sure everybody bills was paid and they had food, right? Jump rope. You know what I'm saying? Man, listen, yo, thank you for this space. Keep this space. This is like what a beautiful echo chamber should look like and feel like, because it's vibrational, it's powerful, and keep doing the goddamn thing. Peace, love, and reparations. I love y'all.
Hey, thanks for those kind words. I really appreciate it. So I'm gonna give everybody the opportunity for their closing remarks. I'm gonna go ahead with Cohen, Chowen.
Good morning, good evening, everybody. Yeah, I think I was on one of your spaces last night as well, and basically just gave a perspective of what it's like being colonized or living in a colony. We know that the Americas are colonies, Africa colonies, Australia, New Zealand, all of that. Of course, reparations should be paid out to the descendants of slaves, and their contribution needs to be acknowledged. My question is, from my perspective, immigration has never benefited Black Americans. It never benefited any people that have been colonized. My question is, you're 12% of the population, so you're the minority. How do you think you influence policy? So let's say, for instance, you're saying, yes, we're fighting this, we want to do our reparations, we want to make sure that the foundational Black Americans are sorted. What influence do you think you have on policy? Thanks. And
Um,
that's my phone. I have to go.
okay. I think I want to say the ability to galvanize the nation. And sometimes we can galvanize the world behind us. So that's one of the ways. Black Americans are just we have the ability to galvanize and attract the globe, and y'all saw that firsthand last night. So go ahead, hot girl. Go ahead, hot girl. Uh, all right.
Sorry, I don't think you answered my question. What influence do you, as the FBA, have to influence policy, the immigration policy? Because in saying that, immigration policy, what I understood last night, that FBA sort of paved the way that other Africans from the continent or the Caribbean can come out to America and support you in your efforts. And what you have found that over the last 50 years is that it hasn't benefited you. In fact, it has been to your detriment due to this confusion that has happened, right? So
Okay.
my question is, how do you think with your 12% of the population you can influence immigration policy, whether it's with the Democrats, whether it's with the Republicans? How do you
I
think
could
you
I could give you a
are
quick
able
example.
to do that.
Go ahead, Booby.
I can give you a quick example. If you was familiar with the Haitian situation, did you see what happened with them at the border? The reason why it didn't go so well because Black Americans didn't intervene. You understand? Because like again, we are the whole reason why these people are over here in our country. If we don't intervene, shit won't happen. You got to understand that. That's why the Haitians weren't able to. If we would have stepped in and intervened, it would have been a different story. But we didn't intervene. So you got to understand, we do have power and influence in our country. You really need to understand that because they don't want. That's another story, but we do have power and influence. We just don't have to intervene. All we got to do is just sit back and let them do whatever they want. The problem
And I
is we
just
always trying to be super saver. I ain't gonna say, but you know what I mean. That's the problem.
And to
So
kind of
what?
piggyback
So,
and to kind of piggyback off of that, right? You know, that influence, right? The immigration policy that got you here was done with our influence, right? That's what the records show, right? Is that when we actually work together, when you know, when it was just us, we had better men, better women, better children, right? And so we got to get back to that. We got to get back to lineage. We have to get back to being prideful about, you know, and being proud of our lineage, right? Because we've been kumbayaing for way too long, right? So we absolutely have, and we know it. We have it. You know what? Y'all know it. That's why we got these reactions for 3 days, like because y'all know it, y'all feel it in your souls. And the Black Americans that are in that have their bones and skin in this soil, yeah, they feel it too, and they waking up. Right, the giant is awake. We will be standing soon, and we will be walking around, and you'll see the influence. I mean, you experience it every day. What?
Okay. Thank you for that, April. I really appreciate that. Hey, hot girl, go ahead, hot girl.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know if you could hear me earlier, but I was going to say I did agree with the comment on reparations. I guess I just had a question because I came to this room really late. I just want to know like how immigration doesn't benefit Black Americans or how Black Americans feel that the immigration, I guess specifically of Africans, is of no benefit to Black Americans.
It's not a specific. There you go again, generalizing. It's not a specific. It's immigration, period. It don't matter the race. It's immigration, period. Comprehend, baby. You got to keep up. We 3 days on this now.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you for that.
oh, okay, I just said I just joined the space, so I don't really know. But the other rooms I was in were specifically talking about African
This
immigration.
ain't the
So
other room, baby. This we you don't try to lump everybody together. This ain't the other room. It's
See,
separate and
you
okay,
apart.
you
Because
so okay,
immigration.
no, see, you was in them African rooms. That's where you was in. Them Africans went created spaces about the space from the other day. That's where you was at. You was in them African rooms. This ain't that.
Exactly. Them African rooms, they titles be attacking us and they titles. I got too much class for all that. You feel me?
Damn, it's that easy for y'all to be misled. Is that easy for y'all to be misled? I'm just asking the question because, my God,
okay. So I just wanted to understand like what people's thoughts were because, like I said, I just joined this room
No,
15
what's
minutes.
your thoughts? What are your thoughts? That's what we trying to see.
I think it would depend on the immigrants themselves and if they're able to, I guess, like give back to the Black community. So I think it could have a benefit and it could not. I just think it needs to be a more
No, we
specific
don't know if it could.
question.
Listen. You said could. No, listen, we don't know nothing about that. Y'all been over here for damn near 60 years. We need to. Y'all should have something to show. You can't say could now. Y'all been over here too long. You gotta like, come on now.
I have a question for Hot Girl, because for me this goes right back to education, and we're not reading the same books, we're not going to the same people to understand what's really going on. So for Hot Girl, like, where do you get your education from? What books are you reading? This is the main issue for me. Like, do you guys have, like, this is for Mel, do you have like a book list or like a reading? So for all the
Yeah.
listeners, like, their ears are open, where can they go to get on code? Because this is the problem, they're not putting in any effort to understand our experience. They think that just being Black means that you understand what Black Americans are going through,
Bro,
and that doesn't resonate with me.
hey,
So where can
bro,
they go to get educated?
Bro, they don't listen, bro. I had spoke on this earlier, bro. We've been had master teachers. Listen, they are intentionally not doing that shit, bro. They're not trying to. That's the whole fucking point. We ain't trying to go through this with no. They ain't got no books. We don't need that, bro. We had plenty
That's
of
how I
teachers
see it.
trying to teach. It's basically, bro. They don't want to. They made that very clear. They made it very clear, bro. So we
Hey,
ain't need. They don't need no books. They don't need none of that shit. They just need to
Could
understand
I?
what's going on. They need to understand what's going on. That's it.
hey, I agree with Booby, but to answer your question, a book that I would recommend all so-called Black people to read and Africans as well is it's by Neely Fuller Jr. I don't know the name of the book, you know what I'm saying, but I really encourage all melanated people to read that book, and I encourage all Black Americans and African immigrants inside of America to read Claude Anderson's book Power Economics. That's just starting out. Okay. Hot girl, this is your last question. You got one more question, hot girl.
I I mean, I don't have another question. I just had a point. Um, I think there's just like an assumption on like myself or like where I come from or like things that I know. And I just I just asked a general question and I just felt as though I was attacked. Um, but I guess I have nothing to say. I don't really feel comfortable speaking in this room because I feel like a lot of
Booby
people
gonna
are
cut Mike.
hostile
It's
for some
And no
reason.
one attacked you, ma'am. No one did that. Please be very, very careful with your language because your language can harm me, right? It could put my family and my children in danger because you're saying things that's not really happening, and then now people are looking at my children funny. So please be very, very careful with your language. No one did that to you at all.
Hey Frank, go ahead, Frank. You got like a minute, 60 seconds or something.
Yeah, it might not be up to that though. So I would like to ask. So you kept saying something about Black Americans and Africans. So why do you think Africans are not black? Like, I mean, I don't seem to understand that part. Like, why do
Um,
you think Africans aren't black?
I don't believe I said that in this space, but I've said that in the past, but not this space, and I don't even got the energy right now to even explain that. So I'm gonna
No,
let
no,
Booby or somebody answer that shit.
no. I mean, like every time I hear you speak about like Black Americans, or you never said blacks. Like,
Okay. All right. Since this is what I believe. I believe, okay, I'm an American Indian. I got reclassified to multiple things. Negro, black, you know what I'm saying? I was reclassified to fucking black. So to me, black right now in the modern day time is an ethnicity. I don't believe it's a race. I believe right now that shit is a ethnicity. So I don't know, you sound like you're from the continent of Africa. So I don't believe that you're black because it's not your ethnicity. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Frank.
you say you don't believe I'm black,
Okay.
but I
Okay.
mean
Listen. What's your background?
I'm Nigerian.
Okay. Now, if I ask you, are you Nigerian first or are you black first? Which one would you say? Please be candid.
I would say I'm African because why?
Okay.
When
Now, hold on. Now, I would say I'm black. That's what I would say. Off the screen, I would say I'm black. Um, Go ahead, Frank.
And wouldn't you be tribe first, right? You would be a tribe first
Yes.
and then African.
Yes.
Right,
Um.
because it's lineage, right? And so
Right. Mm-hmm.
we would focus on our tribe, right? Because it's bloodline.
look, I understand what you're trying to say, right? Fine, you're American, but you when they ask you what are you say you're Black American. But look, we from Africa, when we say we're Africans, they believe we're black.
To who?
So
Who believes
to
that?
anybody,
Okay. Where do you live right now?
I live in Maryland.
I think you're lying. I really believe you're from Nigeria. I
You
believe
say
you're
what?
Nigerian. I believe
I
you're
live in
Nigerian.
Baltimore, to be precise. You good now?
No, I
Hey,
don't.
so what
I
about
don't believe.
South Africa? If a South African say that he's African, do we just assume that he's black?
Yeah.
So are there white South Africans, brother Frank?
You say what?
Are there white Africans, brother Frank?
All right.
Ooh, cat
Oh,
got the
that's a
tongue.
bad motherfucker, wasn't it?
Oh,
I mean,
oh,
there's no need going back and forth. You know. I
oh
mean,
no, no, Frank.
I
Now he
believe,
don't want to play no more.
Don't run down. Don't
Now
run
he
down.
don't
I
want to
believe
play
when
no
I say
more.
I believe when I say I'm African, you understand I'm black.
No
That's
sir,
what I
brother.
believe.
The
No sir.
king just asked you if there was white Africans in Africa.
I don't know what they call themselves. I don't know what they identify themselves to
They
be.
call themselves African, brother
Yeah, they're
Frank.
black. If you're African, Africans beef over yourself too. So what are you saying?
Beef out about this space, buddy. Bye bye.
Hey, we've been building
You
lately.
do that.
We've been building lately.
Hey Frank, I got a question for you.
Well, about education, because
What
you've been
what
speaking about
what's
education ever since.
Hey Frank, what's the incentive for you identifying as black? Why do you call yourself that? Like, what do you get from that?
Go ahead, Frank. 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 Oh, he did.
Oh wow.
Frank
He
don't
done
want no
ran.
trouble.
Child, let me tell you something. Beware of the Summer Jam screen because the family will put you on it. Don't come up here and you ain't got your shit together. You better come up here with your facts right, or you're
Hey,
gonna get packed up.
Marlo, go ahead, Marlo. You look like a troll, but go ahead, Marlo. I think you a troll.
Yeah, no, bro, my bad. I put this on because ever since the Kyle Rittenhouse shit,
Yeah,
ever
hello.
since he got acquitted from that.
Can you hear me?
But
So somebody speaking right now.
oh, but Mel, good shit. I like your shit. I unfortunately I couldn't go in the last space. I've literally I was in here before, but I couldn't fully listen to it. But I'm literally going through Twitter and I'm seeing
Yeah, can you
every
guys hear me?
like
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Oh, hey, let
Hey, y'all
Marlo
get
cook.
show him some respect.
But literally, I'm seeing all these like foreign people saying, "Oh, they're going to take our jobs. Oh, we're going to have remote jobs," and I'm literally seeing that all over Twitter, and it's
I saw it.
crazy.
I saw
But
it too, bro.
that's not all I wanted to say. But I don't want to take up any more time. It seems like other people want to talk, but I should have some more comments later.
Hey, but like we said earlier, the cat is out the bag. You know what I'm saying? Yesterday,
Yeah, okay.
you know what I mean? Okay, go ahead.
Um, all right. Great. I want to say greetings to the Black Americans over there. You guys have been doing whatever you guys have been doing and be keeping pushing the black, the black race and all that. But I wanted to answer the question that you guys have been asking on Frank, that if there was white South African too in South Africa, so how are they going to identify themselves? But someone came here to talk about how some white Europe came to South Africa to settle over there. So all is just immigration and all that. But the white South African over there are so-called white South Africans. So black are also called black Africans. So what I'm trying to say is we here Africans here, we are black already, okay? So we don't need to say, if they ask us where are you from, then we'll say we are black. So you guys black over there because of your skin colors. That's why those white people are trying to say, okay, how are we going to differentiate this? We're white, these guys are black. So
No, bro, you
like
guessing. You
like you
guessing,
said,
brother.
bro, that they have been changing your names from Negroes to other names, is another names to black. So, but yeah, but I just want you to educate me on that because the names have been changing, but we have to be real. You are in the midst of white people. Like, I understand everything, okay? I understand how you guys come from, bottom to this very, very point that you can speak for your right and all that, which is great, which is very, very impressive, and we are proud of where you guys have been taking this, but putting this black on the map and all of that. So I'm just gonna say the reason why, if they ask you, okay, what are you going to identify as, is black, because you are in the midst of white people. A black man can be walking in the street and a white person can see and say, oh, that is black. So they have already started identifying you even before you start identifying yourself as a black. So yeah, I just captured that point there, and I wanted to just say, so if you got any question for me, you can as well answer for it.
I honestly don't even know what you were saying. So yeah.
Nah, I
All
mean,
right.
I got the end of that shit, but just to make a statement, like again, if the police see you, bro, they will know your ass is Nigerian, bro. They gonna know you not black, bro. Trust me. They know who the fuck is who, bro. We been around them
Yeah.
for, like you said, we in the midst of black people. We been around them for centuries, bro. They know who we are. I
Yeah,
promise you,
yeah,
they know who we are.
yeah. I know. I get it. I know what you guys have been trying to say, or and what you guys have been trying to explain to the Africans and all that. But what we are trying to say is that, but we mean no harms, okay? Africans are going to Americans, to make a living for themselves, or to leave their country and all that. So, they don't mean no harm. So let's so
So just let
let's
y'all. What you say? You don't mean no harm. Just let you
no
come get the
harm, man.
bag,
Yeah,
and
just
Bro,
come
you don't
get the bag.
you
so
don't
how
come here
does
to
that
build though.
benefit us
You're
though,
not coming
brother?
here to
Go back to
build,
the
bro.
title. So
Say
you
what?
really don't fuck with us. You just need us to get out the way so you can get that bag.
Take our women. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, fuck on our women, leave some kids and babies over here. Why
Yo,
you go
Bo,
marry a white woman?
Bo said it best. Y'all been here for 60 years, but y'all ain't got nothing to show up for it. Bo said it the best, literally.
Hey, go
You hear
ahead
me?
and I don't know how to say your name, bro. I ain't gonna fuck it up.
We kind of something like that.
Yes, you're right.
Go ahead, bro.
Okay. First of all, I will just commend the job that you guys are doing. I'm from Port Harcourt, Nigeria, and I started listening to you guys since yesterday. And as at yesterday, when I was listening, I did not really understand what this stuff was all about. But today, when I listened to Mel, is it Bobby and this big Chi, I really understand what you guys are doing, and I'm just excited because I'm getting educated. You understand? I just love what you guys are doing. You guys are fighting for what you believe in and listening and getting educated. I just appreciate what you guys are doing. You guys are doing a great job. That's just it. I'm just excited.
That's the energy we need. We need more people
Child,
that
it's finna snow in California tomorrow. Child, it's finna snow in California tomorrow.
You been the
Why
first
is
corner
the
in
rest
three
of your
motherfucking
tribe
days.
not on code like that?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. That's all. That's
Thank
all.
you. Thanks.
Hey, Bex, you got your closing statement, Bex? If you're still up.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys must be. What time is it now? Maybe 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. You've been, yeah. Um, anyway, just a quick one. I really, my brother Booby. I know that we kind of differ on this one, but I really need to put a point across regarding the title. Well, the word black. Let me just say the word black. Let me not give it any particular form. So you mentioned something very crucial about how your identity became that of black. It was a racial classification that happened during a period of colonization. The first taste of colonization that we had in at least in my country was in 1652. And in terms of the reclassification, at that point, it didn't matter whether you are Hottentot, whether you are Zulu, whether you are Xhosa. The Dutch people that came to this country re gave that, okay, let's just say a label, because I don't want us to get into whether it's an ethnicity or whatever. That was given to the people that they found here, and it was given to them purely on the fact that their skins were darker than the white people, and they classified themselves, to our knowledge, as white people. If you look at the languages, at least the Nguni languages that I know more about, um, when they first saw white people, we had people who were lighter skinned than others. We had people who were darker skinned than others. But when they came across white people, they called them, I'm going to say this in Nguni term, they call them abantu abamhlophe. It's white people. That's what they call them. And because before then, we never had a race like that in our midst, you know. That's where, even in our own languages, we had to find a way to distinguish between who is black, well, between the people who came to settle and us, people of a darker skin. So that classification for us is not something that we picked up because we had it from somewhere else, that people who have a skin like ours are actually black. The colonization, just like it did for you, it sought to erase that maybe you are American Indian or Black Indian or whatever. It sought to erase that and put a title that was convenient for the colonial masters. So I don't think that African people being black people, because I know the same applied to Mozambique when the Portuguese got there. But if there's any Portuguese brothers here, they can confirm that. But I do have people that I know from Mozambique, and from what I understand, the classification was the same even for them. And it makes sense because we were all colonized by Europeans, and somewhere along the line, colonization was something that they were doing as a group. So that classification for me, it's not a classification of convenience. It's not a classification of fitting in. It's an identity that was, as from 1652, was ingrained in our society, whether we were before then, and we still remain, different ethnic groups in terms of language, in terms of ancestry. It was erased, and we cannot be talking about that as something that we chose conveniently, or it was bestowed upon us, and it was bestowed at a barrel of a gun by people who came and bullied us in our own land. So I think that we need, like, I mean, for me, the greatest thing about this space, ever since I started following it, is that I'm actually learning about what is actually going on in America. By the same token, I hope that you will be open to learning the lengths and depths of Black people's history in Africa or wherever else that they actually show up as Black people, and be accepting of how they know it, instead of dismissing it as saying you can't be Black if you're African because you also have ethnicity. But the same way that your ethnicity, which is maybe Black Indian or American Indian, was erased by somebody who gave the title of Black to you, I think you should be accepting of the fact that elsewhere in the world the same happened. For me, that's the one thing that I would like to clear, because I don't think it's fair to reduce somebody's history as they know it and as they lived it, because it's not necessarily convenient for you. So if we can respect that, respect that an African person, they know themselves to be Black. If I'm sitting amongst white people, I'm not gonna say I'm Zulu. I'm not gonna say that. I'm a Black person, and that's how I know myself when I'm around them, because to me they are white people, and that's it. It ends there. Whether my fellow brother across the room speaks a different language for me because of his ancestral um, roots, it doesn't matter. To me, he's a Black person because that's how he is classified, and that's how I identify with him. as a person. He's a fellow black person, and that
Okay,
is
okay.
different.
Well, hold on. Well, let me answer this quick question real quick for me. Well, why then when they come to America, they don't why do they distance? Why did they distance themselves from us? Like why don't they identify as black? Why do they distance themselves from us?
Look, I don't, like I said, I cannot speak for other people from other countries, but I don't know of South Africans that do not identify themselves as black. Black people from South Africa who do not identify themselves as black. I do not know of that. I've met them in the UK.
What?
I've met them
What?
in China.
Yeah, well, I ain't gonna lie. It was a speaker up here. He was from South Africa, and I don't know. I think he was gone, but he was basically going against everything you said. So I wish he was still in here because I would have brought him up there. But yeah, he was like, yeah, in South Africa, no, we don't identify as black. No, like so. Basically,
Does he actually live
he
there?
was understanding where we was coming from because like we're not trying to like we be divisive until we understand what we are connected by skin color. We all have melanin. We understand that. That's it. Because you should know. You talking about history and stuff. Black is not a race. You know that. You get what I'm saying? You know, black is not a race. It's a social construct, and we was the only people placed under that construct. And I'm talking about we embodied that. We've made that like that's all we have. Like Mel said, that's all we have, bro. You get what I'm saying? So it's a different experience for us. That's all we saying.
But
And
all
listen,
I'm asking for you,
when the immigrants was coming
yeah.
over here, we was telling them they was black, but they was telling us they wasn't. They was identifying as whatever nation they come from. They was like, no, we're not black. So that's why I'm telling you this, like, because this was told to me.
And understandably, because the space has a lot of different people here, but all I can tell you is what I know. And for me, I'm not a very young person. I'm really like um, going to become an ancestor soon myself. So what I speak of, because I've picked up here one or two young people who probably have read about their history more than they have lived it. Trying to explain things that they know. But I have lived through colonization, and I've lived through the harshest of it. And my parents as well were people who actually lived during the peak of that. And I understand my ancestry, not from reading about it, but from actually getting it from people's word of mouth, people who lived through it, people who will tell the story not as written conveniently by white people to sell a good narrative to the world, but people who actually lived it. So all I'm asking is that, let's be open to learning about what people know about their own history, and be open to accepting that maybe what you have known all the time. Because to be honest with you, before today, what I had known about American history compared to what I've learned in these few spaces that I've attended is actually day and night. It's eye opening, and I'm hoping that we can be accepting of the fact that there may be things that you did not know before about certain black people in certain parts of the world, and please be open to actually learning from it. And you're welcome to drop DMs and have side conversations about it if you still have questions. But maybe the space is also for other people to talk. So I wouldn't want to make it about you and me, but I worry when we are going to be hardlined about people's ancestry that we don't actually know. I worry about that. The same way that I'm open to learning about yours, also be open to learning about mine from me as a person who's lived it. Thank you, guys. That's all from this side of the world. And do have a good sleep if you're gonna get any.
Thanks.
Hey, thanks, Bex. How girl?
Can I,
Okay,
can I say something real quick to Bex? As someone who is, I'm closer to 50 than anything, baby. And I grew up in Florida and raised in Florida, and I know for a fact that they would let me know that they were a trend. That they did not. They let us know exactly who they were. Definitely told us I'm not black. We're not the same black, right? Literally, just in Houston, Texas, the artist Toby literally said, I'm not that regular black, I'm Nigerian, right? Like, are you kidding me? They have said it all my life for 40 some years, right? So No, now I'm not going to take away from your experience, right? That doesn't mean that you are not, right? That doesn't mean that you haven't, and we a lot of us has fallen to this construct. So that's where respectfully we give it to you, right? Respectfully, you can have it racially if you want, right? But that does not take away from your lineage, sir. So and y'all have been very proud because I grew up in Florida, right? And they all of them, all of them, and they were very adamant that they were not us, that they were different from us, and they were very proud of where they were from, as they should be. So please don't try to minimize these brilliant young people like they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Like people are just, yeah, we all black. No, they have not in our lived experiences here in America. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the point you're making. And like I said, guys, you know, personally, and we are different. You know, I've traveled the world, literally to every.
Okay, can I ask you a question though? Can I ask you like?
Yes,
Yeah,
because I've
yes.
traveled too. Let's not do that.
Oh,
But can I
okay.
ask you a question? Have you talked to African immigrants or Caribbean immigrants in the U.S.? Have you ever asked them why they don't identify as black or this?
Actually, Mr. Pubi, that's exactly where I was going. You know, if I had been, I've unfortunately not been. That's what I was gonna say, sister. That as much as I've traveled a lot of places in the world, I have not traveled to America per se and experienced immigrants. And I would have wanted to focus on immigrants that come from my country, and sort of interact with them within the American space and see if they identify how they identify themselves. Actually, you know, I've never had that experience, and if that's what you have experienced from people who come from my country specifically, as disappointing as it is, I'm willing to accept that that's what they do. But if you were to
It
come and
shouldn't
spend
be
time in South
disappointing. They're
Africa.
they're proud of their lineage. They're proud of where they come from. They have they hang their flag proud as they should, and that's what we're doing. That's why we're so amazed and shocked that
No,
everyone sees us doing this now, right? Like that's why we're all like, wow, like it's been 3 days, right? Because y'all have always done it. Y'all have always divided yourself. You have always separated, enclaved yourself. It's what it is, and as you rightfully should. We don't want to take none of that from you. You should. We should have much sooner, right? But that's where we at now. The gate is up.
no, and like I don't disagree with what you have experienced, but all I'm saying to you again is that, as far as I understand, my people, where I live, where I was raised, there is no qualms about whether they are black or not. That is very clear, you know. And if you were to approach any white person who knows any black person, they would not even know whether they are Sutu or Zulu. They just know them as black people because that's the narrative that we live by, you know. The ethnicity thing comes from when you find people maybe who cannot speak another language. That's where you start picking up the differences. And if you go to an area that is a stronghold for some people, that's where you are aware of where you are and what kind of ancestry is running in that area. But in terms of black and white identity, I would not have known of anyone who is not accepting of the fact that they are actually black or who does not know themselves as being black. But anyway, guys, I don't want to dwell too much on the point. I really get where you're coming from. I just wanted to clear that in terms of
Nah, you
the fact
good.
that,
Nah,
yeah.
you good. You good. But I seen Mandy. You was laughing, Mandy. What's up?
Hello, everyone. What I'd like to speak about mainly is how Nigerians feel about immigration and how arrogant they are about it. I've seen quite a couple of posts across Twitter from Nigerians and Ghanaians. They're actually saying that they are unapologetic about migrating to
And
other
one question,
countries.
one quick. What are you? What are you? South African or something?
Yes, I'm South African, yes.
Okay.
Um, so they say they are unapologetic about migrating to other countries and they don't care how it affects other countries and they will continue doing it. So my point is, and my question is, why would you migrate to another country instead of making your country better, using those skills that you have gained through whatever education or whatever, Make your country a better place. You cannot keep running for the rest of your life and having your kids experiencing an identity crisis all the time. They are told that they don't belong in that country. Make Nigeria great, make Ghana great, make Africa great. Thank you.
Hey, hi,
Bar.
girl. So, you know,
I would just like to clarify that I was born here, but I guess I could answer the question to some extent. I think the reason that people come here, I don't know why there's a bunch of laughing emojis, but I think the reason that people come here and something that's not talked about is Africa itself was colonized as well. And a lot of African countries, including Nigeria, are very young, meaning the infrastructure they have and the resources isn't a lot when you compare it to the West. Not to mention, there's a lot of corruption, and even like class disparities are way more significant than they are in Western countries, which is why a lot of people choose to immigrate in the first place, because there is opportunity that they wouldn't have otherwise. And so I think that's something that's like really not talked about. And also how the class.
but I just want you to understand that all the opportunity that you're talking about that your people are coming to, do you know who created that for them? Like, do you know who did that?
This is a recorded space, so don't, this is a recorded space. Go ahead, hot girl.
Hi, girl, go ahead. The opportunities that you speaking of, do you know who created them for them? Like, do you know who did that for them?
Well, I think the freedom of all Black people can be attributed to Black people in America who fought for I guess, like Black people to have the right to come to America and to be free to do things here. So that should be acknowledged. But yeah, I guess
Right. So right there. So you just said, you see how you just said that. So why is it a big deal that we're asking like how, like, because we feel like we should benefit from it. Our people fought and died for your people to come over here. You don't think we should benefit from y'all coming over here, and our people fought and died for y'all to come over here? We don't. How does that? It doesn't make sense that y'all don't understand that.
I never said that you shouldn't. So
Hey, hot girl, do you consider yourself a Black American? Like, you know,
I consider myself Black because I think Black is a social construct, like like as a race. And so I do consider myself Black. I don't consider myself Black American just because I've been told that I can't identify that way. But I do feel like I can at least relate to Black culture. And I mean, I was born here, so I feel like I have cultures from both Nigeria and Black America
What
within me.
what were you born? What were you born in?
I was born in Dallas, Texas.
And you grew up in a Nigerian household.
Yes.
The Nigerian culture, everything, jollof rice, fufu.
Yes.
Okay, so, and I'm pretty sure your parents made it very clear to you that you are not Black, right?
No. They would tell me that I was Black.
Your parents used to tell you that you were Black.
Yes, like also I think what I don't remember their name, but the person who was from South Africa, the man, what he was saying was like essentially people in Africa do see themselves as Black, but the reason that we hold on to like our tribe is because it's our ethnicity when we are in Africa, or when people are in Africa, like there's no reason to say like, oh, I'm Black because everybody is Black.
Okay,
You
so
know,
why when they come over here they say they're not Black and they don't identify with us?
um I I can't answer that because personally, from my personal experience, Nigerians I know identify as Black, and my parents identified as Black, so I personally do not have
Oh
an
well,
issue.
I understand you because you are
Tether.
a tether, so you emulate Black Americans. So you want to be Black. You know what I'm saying? You want to be Black, but don't want to be Black because you. So I get, but I'm just saying, you know that your parents don't. I know you know your parents don't identify as Black. I know you know that shit. Like
What?
Hey,
Um, I they do identify as Black, so I again cannot answer this question.
we know.
Or what about other people that you know? I know you got some friends or some other people that you know that don't. identify as black.
Hey,
Like,
she gone, bro. Hey, Ghetto
all
Goddess,
right.
go ahead. Go ahead, Ghetto Goddess.
Oh, thank y'all. First of all, I just want to say gratitude, send y'all a bunch of love. This is a lot of hard work, and y'all are up here saying the same shit over and over to folks that's intentionally missing the point. Um, Again, just back to the point about being black and it being a socialized construct. I think that, I think they get it, but they also are purposely missing the point that we have a lot of, again, I said this earlier, transgenerational lived experience. Okay. So it's like, it's one thing to have, brown colored skin, but it's a different thing to have this experience. And so that's why y'all come over here and be like, oh, I'm not black, because outside, it's not just like, oh, I look this way, but I don't relate to that experience that y'all are having. I'm not constantly discriminated against. I don't go into spaces and they look at my name and be like, oh, we ain't finna help this ghetto ass. You feel me? Like, that it's not the same thing. So I get that y'all saying that y'all identify as black, but it's Black America. It's like, you can't. It's not 1 foot in, 1 foot out, bro. It's like you all the way in. It's like, and we have to share our identity. I don't think that's what y'all realize, that we don't get to go and say, okay, I'm Breezy, which is my name, by the way. I'm Breezy, I'm black, and something else. You feel me? Like, the only thing that I can call myself is black. And so then and not you, I'm sorry, when black immigrants come over and they get to say, oh, I'm black too, but then I also am Nigerian or something like that. You feel me? It's like you kind of holding people, you kind of stepping into our existence, and that's not right. You only doing this because it's gonna get you in this door. It's gonna benefit you in some way. So I hope that makes sense. Sending all my love to y'all. I really appreciate y'all. Y'all, this is a lot of fucking work, and I'm just real proud of y'all for not being afraid to have the
It,
conversation.
Hey, thanks
it
for that.
does, because it's like we live on different states, so it's not like, oh, I'm black and I'm a Marylander, or I'm black and I'm from Texas. Like, we can't do that over here, but y'all get to do that. But what I really wanted to say was going to Beckham's type of comment about us learning about their history, and we need to learn about everybody's else history. We kind of do, because it's kind of in the curriculums in our schools. Because in high school it's an extra curriculum, and I definitely think it's in extra curriculum in colleges and stuff like that. So people over here are not ignorant about other people's cultures, because over here there's a learning curve to learn other people's histories and stuff like that. But my question is, over there, is it a curriculum over there to learn anything about us? Is there books? Is there anything about Black Americans over there?
Hey,
That was my
all right.
only thing about that.
Okay, Marlo. Hey, can you answer that? K Weena. I don't want to mess your name up.
It's Quina.
Okay, okay.
Kiwina. So I got a new American name. Let me just clarify. I don't think there is much of actually cultural interaction or history that is being offered to us as South Africans about the American people. Like, I know this, especially when
Damn. Yeah. You there? Okay. Hello. Hey, go ahead, JL.
All right, hey y'all. I fell asleep, woke back up. I still see people getting up here, selectively comprehending stuff. And I think someone pointed it out earlier. These people are very well spoken. They're very intelligent for everything except it comes to like what we say. I'm sorry, I'm kind of tired, y'all, but they know everything until it comes to Black Americans and our history. And then the second thing I wanted to point out, and this is directed towards immigrants, but I think there was a white immigrant up here earlier in the space, and y'all can go back to the recording, but he implied that we had to also worry about our crime rate. People love data and science. I wish people would look into the fact that when we lost opportunities is when our crime started to rise. I wish people would look into systematic crack being systematically put into our neighborhood, guns, things like this, because this is the Black experience that a lot of people don't understand. They don't understand how we have been railroaded into certain situations, and how our wealth, constantly decreasing is putting us in certain situations. This is the Black American experience that a lot of immigrants, don't understand. So it's not about giving us excuses, but it's about understanding history history in America and understanding the things that Black people have been through and the situations that we've overcome. It's not enough to just say, oh, well, look at what you guys say in your music. Look at the crime rate. Well, actually, trap music, there is a duality to that, because if you think about the environment that people have been in some way they are turning what they've been through to art. There's levels to this stuff. I think people need to be more aware of that. But yeah, like I just don't understand. We've been having these spaces for days, y'all, and you see how these people come up here and act like they just don't understand what's going on. The last thing I wanted to say is South Americans have the exact same stories as us. I find it real funny how nobody has come up here and put that together. You get what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, if before I didn't understand how this was going, it seems like South Africans are having the same issue. It seems like this is affecting y'all. Nobody is putting that together, but yet everyone's so smart, everyone's so educated, everyone's so well spoken and shit. Like, no, these people don't want to get it. I just sometimes I'm in a twilight zone because it's like, damn, like how many times can we have these conversations with people? Like it's like we're going in circles and circles and circles. And I finally come to the conclusion: these people know what is going on. They are catching selective amnesia, is what I like to call it. Selective amnesia is what these people are on. I just, at this point, y'all are looking real funny in the light. Don't think we know that y'all don't know. Like, no, you know what's happening. It's just that y'all don't care. Y'all don't want to get, or some of y'all, let me say some, the South Africans, like it's been giving me chills. And I talked about this a long time ago, but this South African man messaged me one night. I was in a room with all immigrants, holding my own. It was just me against them. And like this South African found me on Instagram and messaged me a whole paragraph about how the same thing was happening to them. So yeah, I just find that really interesting. And what it comes down to is people don't want to understand us. I don't think they want to, understand the Black experience. People get on here and they're arguing with us about saying Black. They're coming on in here on the defensive after 100 times after we said this is not directed towards Africans. They're still coming up here like, what do you guys mean? Like, what are you talking about? Like, that is the clear factor that we are not the same. Like, what the hell are you talking about? These are the clear factors that we're not the same. We have cultural differences. And not only that, but y'all are trying, no, y'all are actually deflecting. That's what it is. Like, we're not xenophobic. We have been the main ones to carry everyone on our back. Y'all know so much about data and science. Why in the fuck have we supported every culture, every business? Y'all don't want to see Black Americans xenophobic because you know what? Once we really xenophobic, it's over for everybody. Let's be real about that shit. And y'all know it damn well. Y'all been supported by us. Y'all still have businesses in America. Y'all are not being supported by white people and Mexicans. Let's wake the fuck up and let's act like we know what the fuck is going on, because all this crazy selective amnesia is really crazy and it's just really disrespectful. I've been waking in and out of my sleep, same fucking, like, what is going on? That's all I want to say. Like, it's just crazy. Like, at this point, I think everybody knows what it is, literally.
Go ahead, Kay.
The Pan-Africanism, because a lot of times in South Africa, we are being taught by politicians and, even different African migrants from other part of Africa, because we are not even one country. We have 53 states in Africa. So, for example, for one to even know how Pan-Africanism started by Marcus Garvey and others, you understand, it actually relies on you learning the history correctly and being interested in that kind of subject. So indeed, there is no much of a history of American people being taught in South Africa, as much as probably you guys are actually maybe more enlightened about the different tribes in Africa and all those things. So even when Baxman was busy talking about, in South Africa, you only see yourself as Black, that is a lie. Like, for example, where I come from a Limpopo province. We have about 5 tribes in Limpopo. So I wake up every morning, I know that I'm Bedi, I'm Ndebele. You understand? Because in my household, my mom speaks Ndebele, especially from my maternal family. My paternal family, it mostly come in Raskukune. We speak Sepedi. So Baxan can't just come and say that. Maybe in KZN, because maybe they don't have many ethnic groups like we do in different provinces, where, you just wake up, you see yourself as Black, and you don't see yourself only as a Zulu man. But that's a lie. With the former president of South Africa being Jacob Zuma, there was always this thing of, say, 100% Zulu man. So indeed, in Africa, unfortunately, we are not ready to have this kind of conversations where we need to actually be honest with ourselves and hold our leaders accountable, because those things that we are crying about, to say, no, we are going to these countries to do better, to get better resources, to do this and that, because of our countries don't have those kind of things. It actually means that the longest time that we have been saying that we are independent states in Africa, or we got our freedom, or whatever that we've been singing those things, and they've been lies. So we are actually going around in circles. It's the same way in South Africa. We speak about put South Africa first. Somebody from Zimbabwe, somebody from Nigeria, they get offended the same way as, they will come to the space. So I've actually been being accused of actually making myself think like I'm an American, because of I don't get offended when Americans want to talk about immigration issues, because we have the same issues in South Africa. So those are actually some of the things that I just wanted to bring up to the table. Thank you for the conversation, Mel. And yeah, keep going actually.
Okay. Thank you. Everybody, I'm about to go to bed. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Thanks for everybody participating. Thanks for all the support. Booby, Big Chief, Top Cats, JL, April, Check, Coon Dragger, Bex, everybody in the building, man. Secure the tribe. We out. Good night, everybody.
Love
I
y'all.
recorded this. All right. I recorded this
Hey,
script too.
Auntie Joy.
Hey
Truth to
y'all,
power,
I'm a
y'all.
prayer recording tomorrow for y'all from Dr. Weber. I just woke up. I'm sorry, but she just laid it down. She's the one who wrote the legislation out in California, and she just laid it down and said conclusively that bill, reparations, is for freedmen and FBA. That's basically what she said. So I'm gonna play that for y'all, or send y'all the clip tomorrow so y'all can play it. Cause I'm so proud of y'all. Mel, Big Chief, all of y'all, JL, Check, Sonny, Cooney. I'm so proud of y'all. I just cannot express how full my heart is to see you guys come out here. And I'm not gonna go on and on, because every time I come up, I'm gonna make sure I shout y'all out. This is like such a blessing, such a cultural reset. Gug squirrel duddy vubby nun jug tut rud I bubby I lullo vubby a square lull mum yak tut rubby wax e susso lull I tut a fuff. We are lit as fuck. I love my tribe. Y'all have a good evening, and I'll see y'all later. We're gonna be out here in these streets rubbing this in their faces. It's time to delineate, and delineation comes sacrifice sometimes. Not everybody's gonna stay our friends, but thank you, y'all. Love you.
Hey, love you too. Hey, I just want to say one more
Love
thing.
you.
I just want to say one more thing. I've learned a lot about South Africa in these spaces. You know what I'm saying? So y'all definitely have support on this end of the world. I admire South Africa. You know what I'm saying? And I support y'all straight up. All right, peace, y'all. Damn, this shit won't end. What the hell?